All right, Nick Sanders. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Man, so you're like kind of like Captain America, bro.
I don't know about that,
Dude, you're one handsome son of a bitch. You're doing so. We've been trying to like get together for a little bit,
For a
right?
while, yes.
And but you've been away on different trainings.
Yes.
So you're in the guard now.
So I was active duty for 4 years,
Mhm.
and I got out, went to college, all that stuff, and then I got back in. I missed it. And I'm in the guard. I've been in the guard for almost 8 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you like the guard? Is it different?
It's
like,
awesome.
Is it different? Probably. It's a different like intensity, I imagine.
Yeah. So so in the Army we say HUA. It's like heard, acknowledged, understood. It's like a little. People hate it, but yeah, like I get my HUA out 1 week in a month, and then I realize like, oh man, the Army life is only good on the weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I like it. I got done doing some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, dude. So you were gone for like 3 weeks doing some training.
So I was gone for 2 weeks.
Are you allowed to talk about the training?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I
I'm
can
just
talk
so interested in
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So I was gone for 2 weeks for Pathfinder school.
Okay.
Came home for a couple weeks, and then was gone for another 3 at Advanced Leaders course.
Right.
So
Pathfinders, like that's supposed to be like a really tough school, right?
It's like super tough.
Yeah.
It's like toughest Army school I've ever been to.
Is it kind of like what is that school? I know there's a school. What is it? Is it like SEER?
SEER, yeah. So Pathfinder,
Where like they don't feed you. That's the where I'm getting to. Like, do they feed you?
yeah, no. Yeah, SEER is tough. Like,
Yeah, like
they
they
have
don't-
different phases of that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, they don't like they have the phase 1 for pilots and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you get into special operations.
Yeah, like I know that's more like special operational.
Yeah.
So I just didn't know because it was a pretty tough school from
Yeah.
what I like what you're
It's
talking
a lot.
about.
It's like mentally tough.
Okay.
So in Pathfinder, Pathfinder companies, I'll give you a little history lesson on it.
Yeah, dude,
So-
tell me about it. Like, what's it about?
All right, so back in World War II, paratroopers was an experimental thing. Like like Germany had kind of initiated it, took some heavy casualties on the Battle of Crete, and America was kind of mimicking the German military with that, and they thought about giving it up because they had a couple of bad drops into Africa.
Okay.
Well, when they invaded Italy, they developed these Pathfinder companies, so they kind of can I cuss on this?
Yeah, dude. Dude, it's not. Yeah.
So in the military, you got some shitheads who are like in the garrison world, like back in the rear. They are just shitty, but they're like awesome soldiers in the field.
Okay.
And so they took those guys who were pretty much crazy. Like, all right, you guys are gonna jump in like 30 minutes to an hour before the rest of the unit. Small man, like 13-man teams.
Okay.
And they had these things called Eureka beacons, and it would link up to the airplane, and it would guide them onto the drop zone. And
Okay.
and then because before that, like they were all over the place, and
Yeah.
so that's what our job was as a Pathfinder. You jump in before the rest of the battalion or the whatever regiment or element that's coming in
Yeah.
behind enemy lines. You're dangling, and you shoot until you get to the ground,
Right.
and then you set up these beacons, and then you
You're
guide
setting
it.
up the LZ.
Yep.
Damn.
So that's what it started as, and then in Vietnam it became like you go in before everybody else, set up helicopter landing zones,
Yeah.
and so that's what it kind of came into. Now it's you do sling load operations. So sling load is hooking up stuff underneath the helicopter to carry it off and transport it around.
Okay.
Then you move into HLZs, which is helicopter landing zones, and then you do drop zones.
Then drop zones.
Yeah, it's a lot of math and.
Yeah.
It's tough. It was tough.
Dude, yeah, man. So I there was a period where I almost went into the Navy to like
Okay.
I wanted to be like
Yes.
a Navy SEAL,
Hell
and I
yeah.
was
All right.
going to go in as like an officer, which is one of the hardest damn things you could possibly
Yes.
do. Like in hindsight, if I really wanted to be a Navy SEAL, you might as well just enlist because
Have
they
better chances.
they have more people with like college degrees and like it's
Yeah.
just such an elite like amount of
is.
people. But then I got a divorce and I was like, oh man, well do I leave and like try to do this military thing?
Yeah, it's always rough.
But during that time, like I just went like balls deep and just like all of this military stuff,
Yeah.
and it's just so fascinating.
is.
Like all the things that like that they do. Just so I worked with this guy who he was in I think Nam,
Yeah.
and he was alert.
Okay,
long
yeah, yeah.
range reconnaissance. I don't know what the P stands for.
Patrols.
Patrols, okay. But he was telling me about like, and he gave me a book about it, like the tunnel rats.
Yeah.
During that time,
Yeah.
just the things, yeah, dude, just the things that crazy people do during war.
For
like
real.
it takes a special type of human
For
to,
real.
to jump behind enemy lines,
Yeah.
like you know what I mean, and set up these zones
Yeah.
and to like go into tunnels and fight people.
At
Like
tunnels, no thanks, man. I couldn't do that
I couldn't
shit.
do that either.
Yeah.
It took like a small person. I think
Yeah.
they only had like a knife and a handgun.
Yeah, that was a flashlight and a 45.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
it was wild.
It's just crazy just to like learn about like all of the history, like all the military history.
Yeah.
It's kind of relevant. We're talking about it's 4th of July week.
Yeah, hey man, yeah, America.
I know
I
America's
love the outfit, dude.
Yeah, dude.
It's awesome. Yeah, so I actually do like I'm a scout sniper, so like my job besides the Pathfinder operations is
Yeah.
that we like insert behind enemy lines and then set up hide sites and recon the enemy.
Uh-huh.
And you're in small man, like 3-4 man teams, and I mean, if you get caught, you're in some serious shit.
Yeah, dude. Like, how do you mentally prepare for
Man,
like that
you
kind
just
of
don't
stuff?
think about getting caught. Like
just
you
don't
have
even
a
think
you have a
about it, right?
plan.
Just
You have a
think about
plan.
what- mhm.
Yeah, you have a plan for it. But then, like you think, okay, like mission success. We're gonna go in. We're not gonna get caught. We're gonna like fucking hide out.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's scary. It's a scary thought.
yeah, dude. But I mean, it's just one of those things. I
Yeah.
mean, you just do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
It's part of the job.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah, dude. So what's the training like to be a sniper?
So for Bravo 4, I am not Bravo 4. I'm just a scout,
Uh-huh.
but the snipers are attached to us. So
Right. Yeah.
Um,
It's units, right? It's 2-man teams.
so they have 3-man teams on the sniper section.
Okay.
So like I'm a section sergeant for the the scouts.
Yeah.
So I'm excuse me, I'm the squad leader, quote unquote, and then I have a team leader. So I have my guys. I could break them up and we can do a little recon, and then we can have sniper teams attached to us. And
Yeah.
so their job is like target reduction. If we have to take a HVT out or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Man.
But yeah, training's tough.
That's some cool shit, though.
Yeah.
So do you find like a challenge, like physically, like balancing like the training with the military and like your jujitsu career? Because I mean, you're super heavy, like in the jujitsu scene.
Yeah, it's hard to balance, man.
Yeah.
So like in the military, like I have to do a lot of rucking, like walk long distances with the backpack on and running and everything like that. And you don't do that in jiu-jitsu.
Right.
And like jiu-jitsu, I'm on the ground wrestling, and you don't do that in the military. So like if I have to train up for military stuff, it kind of takes away from my jiu-jitsu and
Yeah.
vice versa. Yeah.
On the flip side, though, like all of that's hard on your spine.
Oh, bro, it sucks. I'm getting the older I get, the more I'm like, oh my god, do I really want to do this army
Yeah,
stuff?
dude, I think about it all the time. Like I'll like we were talking about Rogan a little bit. Like
Yeah.
he'll mention just like the strain it puts on your neck and your back,
Mm-hmm.
and then like I guess as I'm getting older and like the more like since I've stopped doing MMA, I've just dove deeper into jujitsu,
Right.
and then like the more I roll, like I just feel it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Have you seen those memes of the old people? It's like jiu-jitsu is great for the body. It's this old guy's like John, 26.
That's it's so true
It's
though, dude.
true, yeah.
It fucks my hands
Oh
up,
yeah.
dude.
Do some more nogi. Like
Yeah.
So like right now we're like I train with Kyle and those guys.
Yeah.
And we have gone into like our nogi season, and my hands feel great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I play a lot of spider guard, and my hands are just jacked up.
Yeah, dude, I'll get those pocket grips, and I'll hold on to those. Like,
Yeah.
it's almost not even hard to hold on to anymore. But like once I get done with the round, like my hands are pretty fucking
Oh
stiff.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
For sure. I've gotten to the point where I'm like, man, should I do more like Keenan and just like lapel guard? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's a little bit easier on the hand.
it really is.
So I've thought about doing that, but I'm not like. But then you think about, all right, if guys smash the hell out of you, and it's bad on your spine.
Yeah.
So it's like it sucks both ways.
Yeah, it does, especially when you get those heavy guys. And you go with all heavy
Yeah,
guys when
super
you
heavy.
compete, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, man. Do you play a lot of guard, or
I do.
are you more of
Well,
a top guy?
So like I was just at a seminar. I taught at We Defy at JW's gym.
Okay.
So I taught it was for disabled veterans.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's
I really
awesome.
like what JW does. He has a very like all-inclusive mentality,
Yes.
and you don't see too many places that will have like instructors from other academies
Right.
come in and teach, especially for like grand openings and
Right.
different things. It's pretty
Right.
cool what he does with that.
Yeah, Jay's been really like I think he has really propelled the St. Louis jiu-jitsu scene with like Fuji and those events and everything like that.
Fuji's huge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's done really well with that. And like Kyle Watson, he'll bring in guys like he just had his black belt camp,
Mm-hmm.
and he brought in like Mark Vives and Matt Layton and John Gutta and a couple other guys from Chicago area. They come down and they train, and so he'll bring in dudes too. So Kyle's really good at that. And then like I try to have some guys in. I
Yeah.
brought in some guys from Ohio to teach. So like I try like in my small little 2 days a week at Hit Squad. Like I try
Yeah.
to give them as much information from just not me.
Yeah.
So,
So you're just teaching 2 days a week right now?
Yeah, I teach Tuesday, Thursday, and then Saturday we have our open mat.
Okay, Saturday's open
Yeah.
mat. How do you like the hit squad?
Dude, like they put new mats down.
Yeah, I saw that.
Looks great. It's like the location is all right.
Yeah.
It could be better.
It could be better. It's a nice building though,
is.
in the sense. I mean, it's a big space.
It's huge.
They got locker rooms. They got
Yes.
the weight area. Yeah, big mat space.
Yeah, we have we have, I don't know, like maybe 30 or 40 people signed up for the jiu-jitsu program.
That's good.
Since I started about almost a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, you got a good thing going with your program, dude.
Yeah.
So you're so active. I can't really think of too many like black belts in the area that are as active as you.
I try to compete. Like my goal is once a month, and then other things happen in life.
Yeah.
So I haven't competed. My last tournament was like March, but I have Respect this month.
Yeah.
And then I got asked to do a super fight for that submission hunter. The thing I tagged you in, and then that's in August, and then I'm gonna do Pans and. On one weekend, then the weekend directly after that, I don't know if you heard about that 5-on-5 tournament.
Yeah, I'm in that.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, so we're doing that too.
Nice.
So that'll take me up to September, and then November I'm not sure what, and then December I'll do No-Gi Worlds.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
So yeah.
Nice. You're not gonna do Master Worlds?
I thought about it, but I've been training so much with no-gi lately.
Yeah.
I only have 1 day a week now where I'm training the gi, and that's at my gym, and so. I don't know, man. I'm Master 1. Next year I'll be Master 2. Maybe I'll just wait till the 5 minute instead of the 6 minute wait.
Dude, those 6 minutes. So I had never actually competed on that level. I did Master Worlds last year.
Yeah, how'd you like it?
It was all right.
Yeah.
It was a different experience. Because I've done so much MMA, I've always kind of put like jiu-jitsu tournaments on the back burner.
Right.
So that's actually my first IBJJF experience.
Nice, man.
So
That's a big one to do. That's awesome.
It was cool. So I mean, I got a win the first round, and then like I went to the second round, and then that guy had a bye, and I didn't realize I was only gonna have like 5 minutes between matches.
Bro, you should have been like, nah, I'm like this. I'll tell you.
I was fucking dying, bro.
Yeah, I'll tell you a secret, dude. So here's the secret to that. Like this is a pro level stuff,
dude.
So they give you like, hey, you got 5 minutes, just leave, walk away, because they gotta call your name 3 times before they DQ you.
Okay.
So like you just walk off, make that dude sit and wait for his match.
Yeah.
Get recovery, then come back and be like, all right, I'm here. Like 30 minutes later, because it takes them. I think it's like 30 minutes past the time that you're scheduled to fight is when they can DQ you. So you have that whole time where you can just kind of chill.
Dude,
out.
I wish I would have knew, because I was just sitting there in the bullpen, like my arms were like blown out.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm trying to stretch them out, and I'm like, man, well, lesson learned, because I didn't realize I needed to be in that great of shape. Like I'm in pretty good jiu-jitsu shape. Like I feel like I can roll for a while. But like I wasn't in like the competition shape that you need to be in.
Especially at the Master Worlds.
Yeah, I just totally underestimated like the level of shape that you need to be in.
Well, a lot of those guys are on the gear too, man. Like
PEDs
are huge in the jiu-jitsu community.
Yeah, that's so true.
Jiu-Jitsu Times just put a article out about it, and they're talking like, hey, we need to talk about abuse of PEDs.
Oh yeah. Well, dude, I mean, yeah, there's no regulation on it, right?
0.
And then we just know in Brazil, like it's just a big thing.
It's their culture, yeah.
Yeah,
beach bodies, man.
Yeah. I mean, so many of those guys. I mean, since the UFC and USADA came into play, you just see all those Brazilian fighters
deflate a little bit.
Yeah, dude, those TRT days are gone.
Yeah, I know.
But it's still big in jiu-jitsu.
It's huge. So they only test for the adult masters. They only test once a year. It's the adult masters worlds, and it's only people on the podium.
Oh, really?
That's the only people they test. And I think it's only like one guy on the podium.
Like it's like random.
Yeah.
Quote unquote
random.
Random.
So they like all the masters, every master division, masters world, they don't test there.
Yeah, those dudes are all on something.
For sure.
Especially once you start getting like say master 2, 3, 4. I mean, I know like I'm going to take some sort of like testosterone replacement as I get older. It's
Absolutely.
just there's nothing wrong with. For some reason, there's like this stigma that's placed on it, but it's just I mean your T levels naturally drop, and why would you not do something to start supplementing that for your health, dude?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like
I agree. I put it down on my to-do list as like TRT appointment.
100%.
That's one of my things to do.
Yeah. So it's like you do want to keep that in mind. Like as you get older, there's going to be some sort of testosterone replacement. But some of those dudes like
they take it to the next level.
Dude,
they're not TRTing, man. They're straight roided.
They really are,
yeah.
dude. So that is something I guess you do want to be concerned with in jiu-jitsu.
I mean, and it's not unbeatable. Like I've beaten guys who are clearly on the gear.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, it's just like if you go into it mentally prepared. Okay, like this guy's going to be hella strong for the first 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Wait it out a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and the better my jujitsu technique gets, the more I can deal with strength.
For sure.
It almost nullifies strength to a certain degree, right?
sure.
And then some with weight as well, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of
absolutely.
the point of the art.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think the guys I went against were on the juice.
Oh, yeah?
I just got fucking tired.
Yeah. That happens too.
Dude,
That's a problem.
yeah, dude, you just gotta be in better shape, man.
Man, it's like I'm really big into the strategy of the match, and so that's one of the things I ask a lot of black belts I train with. It's like, okay, what would you do in this situation? And the biggest thing a lot of guys talk about is like if you're in a tournament setting, don't always go for the kill. Like, because you're going to have a dude next match if you win this match.
Yeah.
You might have like 3 more dudes next matches, So it's like, unless it's there, kind of get in a position, just ride it out.
Yeah.
And I know that's like a anti-jiu-jitsu, but
It's kind of like more of a game mentality.
but I mean, strategy wins matches. And that's like a lot of these guys who are winning the worlds and everything. And my coach, Leo, he told me, he's like, man, the way to win is you got to kind of stall a little bit.
Yeah.
So you got to think you have Masters 1, you have a 6-minute match. Keep it on the feet for the first minute. They won't call you for stalling. Then you can pull guard, try for your takedown, whatever. Now they reset the clock. You get 30 seconds before they call you for stalling. Then you fake something, fake a wrist lock, go for a sweep, or actually get a sweep. Get your points, get your vantage point. Then you got another 30 seconds before they warn you, and then another 30 seconds before they take points from you.
Oh.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that's the thing, right? I mean, because there is like this whole system in place, and there's definitely a way to like game the system to your advantage, right?
Yes.
Which is probably, I mean, some people they're not in favor of of sport jiu-jitsu for that reason, right? But I mean, when you're fucking competing and you're trying to win, dude, you want to win.
Dude, when you're competing against guys your same skill level, you gotta have some sort of edge. Like black belt matches are boring because they're both super tough.
Yeah.
Dude,
they're so good. It's like the smallest little things, and if you don't know what you're looking at, then it just looks really boring.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's very intense.
Yes. Oh yeah. I mean, like if you think about, look at like Rafa Mendes and Cobrinha. All those were minus one of their matches was pretty much like an advantage. That one. They're both like super skilled, the same level. They're really, really tough. So it's like, you can, without time limits, without advantages, or without like points, if you just did sub only, you'd be there all day. It'd be boring as shit to watch.
Yeah, it would be a long ass day.
I love jiu-jitsu, but watching those two guys fight each other, like, thank God 10 minutes is over because this is boring.
But do you think they'd be more aggressive if it was sub only and they didn't have to worry about? Because I know, like, for me, sometimes I feel like I'm kind of leaning more towards the sub only scene because I don't have to worry about positions or like being out wrestled, or you know what I mean?
I like both.
Yeah.
I like the
I like them
ADCC rules.
Mm-hmm.
I like IBJJF. I like sub only. Third Coast had they have the good rule set.
Mm-hmm.
Kasai has a great rule set. There's no like one great answer.
Yeah.
I know Josh Hinger, he did a study or whatever. He said there's more submissions with time limits and points than there are with no time limits and sub only.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he put that out, and I guess the reason why is because attaining those positions helps you. If you get a dominant position, you get your points and you're setting up a submission from a advantageous position.
Yeah. Well, in all honesty, I mean, if there's a rule set, people are going to game it.
Absolutely.
So even in EBI, people stall out until they get to
overtime rounds.
Yep, to overtime, and then they just work those positions.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That arm bar,
Exactly.
that back. So it's just like there's no perfect way to do it.
Yeah, like like this is the thing. Third Coast, I don't know if have you watched them at all?
No, I've heard of them, but I haven't watched any of their events.
Yeah, so they just had their third one, and
pretty recently.
Yeah, it was like last week.
I think there's a kid. So I actually got to compete against this young savage named William Tackett.
I heard he's a beast,
dude.
Yeah.
That kid is something else.
He's
I wish I would have.
Too, right?
Yeah, he was a blue belt when I competed with him. He was only 17. I wish I would have like taken him more serious. But
he's a beast,
dude. It just opened my eyes to like what fucking next level people are doing, man.
Yeah.
Like this kid, he was 17. He's been training since he's 8, and then now like he's 18 now, purple belt, beating black belts in no gi.
He's a freaking savage. Yeah.
But I think he competed at that. Was my
He
point.
did, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he won. I think he beat his guy pretty handily.
Yeah, he's fucking good.
Yeah,
dude.
he's a stud.
He's really good.
I watched some of his stuff.
But here's the thing, though. Like, he's really good at no-gi. He's a multiple-time world champion at no-gi, but he still hasn't pulled it off at gi. You know what I mean? So, like, does that, in my mind, that almost tells me, like, gi's harder than no-gi. Or does it just depend on the person?
I was listening to another podcast from Flow Grappling, and they were talking about, like, how these purple belts can beat black belts in the no-gi, but you hardly ever see it in gi.
Right.
And like as much as they're the same, there's so many differences.
So many.
Like just a grip variation, grabbing a hold of pants can stop somebody's berimbolo, where a no-gi, your hand will slip right off their ankle or something.
Far less control in no-gi.
Yes, but in no-gi you have the scrambles where like if you're berimboloing me or you're doing something crazy to me and you can hold on to me in the gi. In no-gi, I could just stiff arm you away and scoot my butt out and I'm safe again.
Yeah, it's so much harder to like lock somebody down into a position in no-gi.
Yes, I'm like, as much as they are the same, I also think that they are like two different sports.
They almost, from the sports standpoint, they 100% are.
Yeah.
I see some guys having a harder time going from no-gi to gi than the other way around.
Yes.
Right? It's because if you have a good solid like gi game, then all you're doing is taking away some handles, but the jiu-jitsu is still the same.
Yes.
But it's like if you're wearing if you're doing no gi, then you put on a gi, then it's
You're
just
gonna
like,
get smoked.
dude, it's just like you're in a straight jacket.
Yes.
You can't fucking move anymore.
Yes. Like this is like Richie Martinez, killer in no gi. I don't know if he does gi or not, but like if you put him in with Rafa Mendes in the gi, man, that'd be a wrap.
Yeah.
Like
different,
totally different. But he can nullify a lot of Rafa stuff in no-gi.
Yeah.
And he does well in no-gi. He smokes a lot of tough dudes. So, I don't know, man.
I don't know either. It's just such a does that mean you have like less jiu-jitsu knowledge because you don't have these the knowledge of these grips?
That's a good question. I don't know if it's less jiu-jitsu knowledge. It just might be.
It's different.
Well, like so I train primarily with Kyle Watson, Josh McKinney, Junior Silva, he's a Brazilian cat that moved uptown, and then Jeff Schulte, and one of my black belts, Jason Conway, and Jordan Dowdy. So those are like my main guys I train with. And I have other people too, but we were just talking yesterday. We had our black belt training session, and we're like, Jeff was showing this stuff for leg locks and no-gi, and I'm like, bro, I'm a white belt. Like, I know how to defend. I'm at the point where I'm defending pretty well, but my leg lock attacks are garbage.
Dude, it's tough.
Trash.
Yeah, and it's not really a culture around here.
No, it's not. So to my point is like Richie Martinez, he has way more jiu-jitsu knowledge when it comes to no-gi stuff. With positioning, grabbing, like just funk rolls or leg locks, something like that. So he has a breadth of knowledge there and a depth of knowledge, whereas in the gi, he might not know as much as me. So I don't know if it's like a lack of knowledge, just a different focus.
It's definitely a different focus. I don't really know one way or the other. I realized, so I went to the On It Open last year and competed. That's where I went awesome. Against William. And dude, so that was no-gi, and like that was like my first introduction to like the no-gi like world stage, dude. Like there's some fucking savages on that thing, dude.
There are.
And then like I just realized it opened my eyes. I'm like, all right, well I've always known about this thing, leg locks, but we never do them.
We hardly.
And
ever.
it's almost like this dirty little thing. You know what I mean? People call you dirty if you do leg locks, but it's like in my mind, like, that's just fucking jujitsu, dude.
It is.
Like either do it or get left behind.
Yep.
So it's like whenever whenever that opened my eyes, like ever since then for the past year, just I started off by only focusing on locking down the position. I want to be able to control that position before I can actually like do any submissions because it's safer that way, right?
Right.
So, but like I've just been focusing on it, dude. Like going inverted, getting in 50-50s.
You probably have more knowledge on that stuff than I do, man.
I'm pretty good at like working through the positions. I can roll through them, but like I won't say like I'm super knowledgeable. Like teaching them.
But if you've been practicing for like a year, dude, that's like more time you spend on than me.
I just realized like I had to, otherwise like this is what the jiu-jitsu community is,
right?
You know what I mean? And then like I think John Danaher had a really good saying, like if you're ignoring the legs, you're ignoring 50% of jiu-jitsu.
So we were just talking about that too, man. But now guys are ignoring 50% of the upper body because they're attacking the lower body so much.
And that's that's like the catch-22 of no-gi, right? Because they go all legs and then they just ignore this other half of jiu-jitsu. It's just like, man, we got to do it all.
Yeah, it's leg locks have definitely opened up a lot of the I guess setups and attacks and everything that people were lacking.
Yeah.
And but it's definitely a huge thing right now.
It really is.
People are like really focusing on legs.
Yeah, I hope more people do it here in the Midwest because you see it on the coasts. You kind
Yes.
of see it in Texas. I mean, you got that Nogi 10th planet thing going
Right,
on,
right.
but you don't see it really here.
Yeah, like like we have a lot of tough dudes in the St. Louis area,
Hmm.
but that like when I first started jiu-jitsu, dude, like people would get mad at you for leg locking.
Yeah, they
And
still
that's
do.
definitely an old school mentality.
Yeah.
Um I am all about them. Like, man, go for them. Like, they're
Dude,
great.
especially in training,
Yeah.
like I feel like, I mean, safety is always an issue, right? But like if you, the earlier you can start getting exposed to these things and like start working them into your training, even if it's just like locking down position, like
Right.
not even going for the
Right.
submission, you know what I mean? Like having that awareness,
Yes.
then like the better off you're gonna be. Like once
Yes.
you get to those higher levels, you've already seen it. You've already
Yep.
been working those mechanics.
Yep.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
So,
That's so like I teach at my Tuesdays I teach gi, Thursdays is no gi, and Tuesdays, I teach them the IBJJF rule set because that's pretty much what everybody adopted for the gi. But on no gi days, it's the same people, white belts, blue belts, same people. I teach them, heel hooks, defenses, and everything like that. I'm like, all
yeah.
right, you can use this as a no gi, lock the position, give your partner time to tap. If they don't tap, let go and switch to something else. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to blow out a knee.
Yeah, dude, like ego will hurt so many
Oh my
people.
God,
Dude.
man.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that whole there's no ego in jiu-jitsu is bullshit.
Well, jiu-jitsu will tame your ego quick.
Yeah, but then once you get good, that ego comes right back.
It does, dude.
Yeah.
It really does. It puts me in check every now and then because like I'll be going with somebody and like I feel like I'll get lazy or something, or I feel like they shouldn't be able to do something to me.
Oh yeah.
I'll get submitted or something. I'm just like, I get this immediate like flash of rage. Like I just want to.
No, it shouldn't happen.
I want to rip their fucking head
Yep,
off and just like
yep.
come at them really hard. But then I was like, all right, like I gotta like take a deep breath and just calm the fuck down and like, all right, well you're being sloppy.
Well, like you're like the majority of people that do jiu-jitsu, but there are the outliers who are like come in, have an ego, and like carry that same ego even up until black belt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
that-
probably pretty rare. I feel like those guys get
Yeah.
weeded out. I mean, you have to, as a
don't
white
know,
belt,
man.
you're like your job is to survive essentially.
Yeah, or maybe they just build that ego, think they're badasses or something
It could
like that.
be
It's
it.
like,
Yeah, I don't know, man. We all have our own journey with ego.
yeah, for real.
Yeah. So what got you into jiu-jitsu? I mean, so you're from Ohio, right?
No, I'm from St. Louis.
Oh, you're from St.
Yeah,
Louis.
yeah.
Okay, but you lived in Ohio
I
for
did,
a little bit.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. So, like, take me through your journey a little bit. Like, you know,
Okay.
when did you get into, like, were you always an athlete or?
Yeah, so I was always an athlete. I had a bunch of full ride scholarships for soccer.
Okay.
And then 9/11 happened, and after the attacks, I joined the military, gave up, soccer, all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I joined the military when I was a senior in high school. Went off and fought in Iraq and everything, and got out after 4 years. And I was a recruiter my last year in the Army, and I remember watching Forrest Griffin, Stephen Bonner.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
2005. I was like, "What is this?
Dude.
I want to do this," because
Yeah.
I was always an athlete. I enjoyed, like being in the military. I was infantry, so you go fight and all that stuff. And so
Yeah.
that's what I did.
Yeah, when you're an athlete, like I don't know what it is, but it's just like you learn to enjoy the process. Or at least the good ones do. And like, so like for me, I just went from like high school sports to just like more of the same with like fighting and
Right,
jiu-jitsu.
right.
But the military, you could easily plug the military
Oh,
in
for
there.
sure.
Like there's just so much structure and there's like, if you do well, like there's an immediate reflection like on like how you're promoted
Yeah, for
within
sure.
within ranks and different things. Like I spent so much time in the corporate space, and you can fucking kill it in the corporate space
Oh,
and
man.
still not
Nothing.
make it anywhere,
Yeah,
right?
yep.
So like in sports and like in the military, right? Like there's like this
Like merit based.
yeah, you know what I
Yep.
mean? You get this feedback a little
Yeah.
bit quicker.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, and they call us now like they're focusing on tactical athletes.
Yeah.
So that's what they try. So you have to be in the military. You have to be a jack of all trades. You have to be able to knock out, 90 push-ups in 2 minutes, and then a bunch of pull-ups, and then go run.
Yeah. And then go swim. Or then
run
go,
like a cross-country runner.
go ruck or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and so like you have to be able to do everything. A jack of all trades physically.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So like when I got out, I was like, man, I saw the fights, the UFC fights, and watched the Ultimate Fighter. I was like, dude, this is great. Went to Best Buy and bought the UFC. It was like 47 through 53 like DVD pack.
Yeah.
And I watched all those, and I remember watching Matt Hughes just crush everybody.
Yeah,
And I was
he's
like,
a
dude,
monster.
I gotta learn how to wrestle. And then I saw BJ Penn choke out Matt Hughes. And I was like, I gotta learn jujitsu, bro. this fat dude just came in and smoked Matt Hughes.
Dude, and one of the fucking savages of jiu-jitsu world, right? Like, guy's black belt in 5 years, or was it 3.5 or 4?
It was like 3.5, 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
Become world champion.
Dude,
yeah,
crazy.
Yeah. And so I got out, and at the time, my girlfriend lived in Ohio, like my ex-girlfriend, and I was like, all right, I'll get out of the military, go move up there, go to school, and I found the Chitwood brothers, jiu-jitsu.
The who brothers?
Chitwood,
okay.
Sean and Craig, and oh gosh.
And the third one.
Yeah, no, he's gonna kick my ass for not Sean Craig. Neil Chitwood. Sorry.
There we go.
Sorry, Neil.
It happens.
Yeah, he's in the military too, man. I'm so sorry. But
I do that when I'm like right in front of people.
Yeah, like, hey, what's your name? I have terrible memory. But so anyway, they have a gym, and at the time, Sean was just a brown belt, and Craig was a purple belt, and Neil was on active duty still. He was a blue belt. And so started training in jiu-jitsu with them. In the idea of going to MMA. And then I started just fell in love with jiu-jitsu. And it's like, man, I'm just going to do jiu-jitsu. I don't have to get punched in the face.
Yeah, it's much better for your brain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. And so trained with them, moved back to St. Louis, started training with Rodrigo Vaghi, and then left his team when I was a brown belt, and then joined Leo Pecanha. I've been with him for the past 6 or 7 years.
Leo's a good guy.
Yeah.
He came into St. Charles MMA. Like, I trained with him one time. It was like the very first St. Charles MMA.
Oh, inside
like the on Randolph.
Yeah.
Just like the one room place, and I think he was still fighting MMA at the time.
Yeah, I think he was.
Yeah, he doesn't still fight anymore, right?
No, he did a couple of jiu-jitsu tournaments at the beginning of the year. He double golded, obviously. I mean, he's a beast.
He's savage, yeah.
Yeah, and so but he was in Dubai for like 3 years teaching there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, came back to the U.S., and I think he's down in like Jonesboro, Arkansas right now.
Is that where he's at now?
Teaching autistic kids jiu-jitsu or something.
Oh, that's
like
cool.
Yeah, so.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know. He's all over the place. Sometimes I just lose track of what he's doing.
So you've been under him for 6 years now, right?
6, almost 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so when did you take over the Hit Squad program?
A year and so less than a year and a half ago.
Okay.
So like Jordan Dowdy had messaged me. He and I had trained together at Josh McKinney's gym, on the open mats, and we rolled and stuff. And he messaged me like, "Hey man, like we got rid of our jiu-jitsu coach. Do you want to come and teach?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll come try it out." Like I don't want to do certain things. Like I don't want to do every day because I have a real job, and I don't want to interfere with my training sessions with Kyle and those guys. And so, so I went there. Yeah, like March, I guess, February, March.
Okay.
And just started teaching, and I enjoyed it. And one of my stipulations was I'm not teaching kids class. So
that's a whole different ballgame, dude.
So I want to have my sanity. Yeah, bro, I feel your pain. I've been for years. And they hired me on. I've been there ever since, and we're steadily growing the program. I have some really tough dudes.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, you're definitely growing, dude.
Yeah.
You had a pretty good turnout at Fuji this year.
Yeah, we
right?
did. We had pretty good guys. Man, I think pretty much everybody that came walked away with a medal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, dude. So I mean, you're definitely growing.
Doing all right. Yeah.
Yeah. There's something else about kids. Now, I will say, dude, ever since I started teaching and teaching kids specifically, it made me realize like how much of jiu-jitsu I was just doing like unconsciously.
Yeah.
And like not really like having a deep understanding of it.
Yep.
So now I really had to like slow it down and like understand the why and like step by step everything. So it's made my jiu-jitsu 1,000 times better teaching these kids.
That's what people say. Like teaching jiu-jitsu will definitely improve your jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of hear that about anything. When you teach it, it makes you better at it. But
sure.
yeah, it's really true because as an athlete, you just kind of just like if you have an understanding of how to move your body, which kids don't, so you have to like explain it so simply.
They're terrible.
Yeah, you just do things without even thinking.
Yeah, it's yeah, but then if you do jiu-jitsu long enough, like things just start coming naturally to you, you just do them instinctually. And that's the part where like when you teach, you're like, okay, well, why do I do this? And I find myself with some of the advanced moves, I try to break them down in my head. I'm like, oh man, that's pretty advanced. That's hard. It's going to be hard to teach guys how to do that. And I feel like with some of the advanced movements, you start breaking them down into stuff like really specific details on hand placement or like foot placement. It's more like, all right, your body does this. And then guys who've been doing it long enough, like, okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about, and then I
Right.
can go and do it.
Yeah. Now, do you sometimes feel like some of those advanced movements are just,
Trash.
yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just, they're good seminar
Yeah.
things to teach, but it's like the simple shit works. Like, I mean, I probably use like the same handful of shit in
Oh,
different
for sure.
in different variations,
Absolutely.
but it's just like there's not really too much complication to
No.
it.
Like I do. I think the only thing that's fancy with me is maybe my spider guard,
Yeah.
and that's it. The rest of it, like I Kimura everybody from top. Like I just to pass or just hold, and it's a basic white belt move, and it's like okay, I'm gonna use this because it works.
Yeah,
And
if you're efficient at it.
yeah, and that's what I do.
So is that your go-to? Is the Kimura, or do you have a favorite submission?
I find myself in like no gi and even gi on top like crossbody. I'll do a lot of like Kimura, far side Kimura setups, and then I'll use that. I think my series is trying to take the back and do like a Armin Ezekiel,
Yeah.
and then omoplata off my back because I deal with the fat boys. I'm super heavy,
Yeah.
and and so like yeah, like I just I'm like man, triangles suck with fat guys laying on you, so I just
Dude,
go
it's
right
tough.
to omoplata.
Yeah, it's tough for those big dudes, dude. They
Yeah.
just fucking stack you.
Yeah, I tell all the guys who are like my size or bigger, I'm like, bro, I'll teach you how to do an armbar. And it's gonna work against like smaller guys or guys who aren't as skilled as you. But when you get guys who are skilled, just as skilled or more skilled as you, and they weigh as much as you or more,
Yeah,
like bro,
dude.
you gotta switch off to something else because your spine's gonna love you.
Yeah.
If you switch to omoplata.
Yeah, dude. Like, yeah, if you can like turn into some sort of shoulder lock, or
Yes.
sometimes I'll try to like sneak in like a cross collar
Yeah,
in
yeah,
there,
yeah.
and turn into some sort of like choke.
I got a
off
pretty
it.
cool detail for a cross collar for you. I'll show it to you after this, but at the seminar, Brian Marvin, he and I we've fought each other twice. We're 1-1. Super nice dude. He was the head of We Defy, the people that put on seminars to provide training for PTSD combat
Okay.
vets.
That's
and so he showed me something pretty slick. So I'll show it to you after.
I love it.
Yeah.
See, that's the beauty of jiu-jitsu, dude. It's like, oh man, this little thing right here
Yeah,
just changed
dude.
something.
I've never seen it ever in the years I've been doing jiu-jitsu. And I will say this, his chokes are tight.
Oh,
tight,
I love
tight.
it.
So I'll show it to you after
Hell
this.
yeah, dude. That's dope. That's so cool, man. What the fuck was I gonna say to you? I just had something.
Yeah, you got all your brain blew up from that choke.
Dude, yeah. Dude, that happens so often. I almost have like ADD when it comes to this jujitsu shit because there's just so much to talk about.
There is so much. Yes.
Damn, dude. I don't know what I was gonna say to you anymore.
Competition.
It was something. I had a good thought too. It happens, dude. It
Yeah,
happens.
it's all good.
It's
It's all
the
good.
cannabis in the mornings.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't partake for another few years doing the military stuff.
Yeah, no, man. Like it's kind of crazy because so many like veterans and stuff are they get help.
Oh, for sure.
Just off of the hard prescriptions and different things.
The
dude.
VA just approved. I think they approved medical marijuana for veterans.
That's awesome.
With PTSD.
Yeah.
Like I'm a huge proponent for it. Like I'm like, man, please, like smoke weed, be happy. I think it's great. Unfortunately, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, man, and times are changing though. I mean,
Yeah,
and you have
yeah.
a real job, which they're
Yeah.
I'm sure they test for
doing
that
physical
too.
therapy. If one of my patients gets jacked up, then they'll test my urine for
I know, dude, but
THC.
times are changing, man.
If you like, I think somebody did create this, but if you can develop a urinalysis test or blood test that can figure out like how soon that person smoked marijuana, like within the 24-hour period, because right now it's like a 30-day window.
Yeah.
It tests levels and determine on how many picograms, whatever it is, of THC in your system. They can determine like, when you used it. But if you can pinpoint, like, okay, yeah, this guy didn't smoke today. Like let's say, for instance, an industrial accident.
Yeah.
They workers' comp or whatever. They're like, all right, let's test your urine right away to see if you're on drugs.
Yeah.
So if you can test something like this guy hasn't smoked while he was on his shift. He smoked last night. It's out of the system.
Yeah.
Man, you'd be a millionaire.
Dude, if you could pinpoint that down, that would definitely help. It's just such a weird thing, right? Because all of these years, it's almost been compared equally to like to alcohol.
Yeah,
in,
it's not.
In like in the way that it affects you. It's like, all right, well, if you're impaired on alcohol, you're also like impaired on. But it's like there's so many. You can be extremely functional on cannabis.
For sure.
And like I mean, I smoke almost on a daily basis,
yeah.
and I feel like I have no issues like doing any sort of like tasks.
Yeah.
So like there's just so much just like variance in there. It's just I don't know. It's crazy times, but
Yeah,
it's cool to see like the medical laws are changing so that
Yes.
way people can get access.
Especially here in Missouri, man.
Yeah, man. Do you live in
especially
Illinois or Missouri?
Missouri.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you thinking about trying to get your medical card, or is that something that's even like open to you
I
because
like
you're in the
I
military?
can't. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like not even an option.
Not even an option.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I'll be booted from the Army fast.
Yeah, dude. Man.
But I mean, yeah, like I thought about like trying to invest in a dispensary.
That'd be a good move.
Yeah.
Invest in
make some money.
something.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, man. Even if it's just like hemp for agriculture,
Yeah.
because there's like I mean CBD's everywhere, but
Yeah,
there's
it
no
is.
THC in hemp, and it's good for paper and just
It's a
clothes
weed. Yeah.
and- yeah.
Like, let's stop cutting down these trees and start cutting down some weeds. And,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
That's one of the unfortunate things about like all the prohibition with it, because like hemp specifically, like there's 0.3% THC.
Right.
Like you can't even really get high off of it.
Yep.
But it's a textile, and like we used to export it, and
Yeah.
then we've been spending money actually importing it for different things. And in Missouri specifically, the climate here is like actually perfect
for
for
it,
growing
yeah.
it. Yeah. So it would just be so good for the economy. It just blows me away.
Yeah, I never understood that. Like, I mean, yeah, I never understood that shit. Like, it's a Schedule I drug. Like you're saying, it's just as bad as crack cocaine.
Yeah, I'm
That's
actually reading
silliness.
this book about all the history and stuff on it called Smoke Signals.
Yeah.
And there's been multiple reports from all over the world that will test to like how it helps like medically and how
Yeah.
it's not addictive and it's better than alcohol and all these different things. But like just the governing agencies just don't ever pay attention to the reports.
Yeah, 'cause
So, and it's such a big
Yeah.
thing in the jiu-jitsu community
is.
too, man.
It's
That's the
huge.
thing.
It
Like,
is
it's
huge.
huge.
yeah,
in
they
the
have that
jiu-jitsu.
with that high rollers or whatever.
Yeah, high rollers.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, they're out there
Give you
smoking
away
it.
weed whenever you win instead of money.
I've had so many people message me and like, "Have you seen this?" I'm like, "Of course I saw it.
I'm on the ball. I saw it before you saw it, man.
I really did."
Yeah, I remember seeing that, and they were on the mats smoking.
Smoking, yeah, they smoked before. I think all the winners got like a pound of weed.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's crazy. I don't know, but times are changing. It's interesting to see just kind of the different options that are being available, and just people kind of like opening their minds to like more holistic options for
sure.
health.
For sure.
Because like I'm a health coach, and like being an athlete for so long, I've always just kind of been into like how can I perform my best and
Right.
feel my best, because I'm sure there's days where you've gone in training, if you don't eat well beforehand, you feel
you're
it
trash.
immediately,
Yeah,
dude.
oh yeah, absolutely.
So it's just like I became very conscious of the things that I put in my body, and then it became like things I put on my skin, and it's just like just the whole overall like health,
Yep.
conversation. And then so I'm really weary about like just putting like I don't even take Tylenol or
I don't
ibuprofen.
either,
Like
yeah.
that shit's hard on your liver and
Yeah.
your kidneys, and it's just not good for you.
Yeah.
So like anything that's natural, it just blows me away how it's not an option.
Well, and a lot of people too, like a lot of people neglect the powers of just sleeping
Dude,
and rest.
that's like my number one question whenever I talk to people. I'm like,
like,
so
how
how
much
much
you
are you sleeping?
Mhm.
Like, when are you sleeping? What kind of like are you on your phone up until the minute you go to sleep? Are you getting that blue light exposure? Like,
Right.
what are you doing?
Yep.
Dude, it's so important.
Sleep is huge, man. Like I could feel it. Like if I only get like 6 hours of sleep because I have other crap going on, I generally like to get like 8 to 10
Yeah.
if I'm training hard.
Mm-hmm. You need it.
Yeah, you have to recover. But like yeah, if I get like 6 hours or less, I definitely feel I get my ass kicked in the gym.
Dude,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
It's I can't remember what podcast I was listening to. It was probably Joe Rogan or something. He had one of the guys on sleep
Yeah,
on
sleep
there.
expert. Yeah,
Yeah, I have his book actually. It's a kind of a dry book, so I haven't
I'm
finished
sure
it
it
yet.
is. Yeah, it's not very tantalizing.
Well, I'm
this
listening
subject.
to it. I'm not actually reading it. It'd probably be better if I was actually reading it.
Yeah,
but I'm
maybe.
listening to it. The narrator's kind of I don't know. But either way, so he had said that he's like everybody thinks like nutrition and exercise are like the pillars, and like sleep is like also like recovery is like also like this third pillar of health. But like he argued like it's actually the foundation of which these pillars are built, and I actually agree, because if you don't get enough rest, then no matter like how good you're eating, or it doesn't matter like how much you're training, you're not getting the most out of those
Right,
things.
right.
So like you have to get the rest.
Yes,
It's just
yes.
vital.
Well, and like if you're only sleeping a few hours a night, and your metabolism's all jacked up. So even if you're eating healthy, you're putting weight on, or you can't
Exactly.
keep weight on. It's like sleep is super essential.
Yeah, yeah. How do you manage, or how do you try to get your sleep in, like when you're traveling and competing?
Man, well. So what I do if I'm not traveling with my girlfriend, it's different if she's there. But if I'm traveling by myself, like so I'll travel up the day before, and so if it's a Saturday tournament, I'll go up Friday morning. Usually I'll try to go early in the day, and I stay in my hotel room or wherever for that entire day. Like I don't do anything. I just chill, watch some TV. I might get up and like walk on the treadmill if they have one in there, just to like get some active recovery going in, just get some blood flow. But I like sleep most of the day.
Yeah.
That's my usual competition prep is because I'm close on weight too, so I'm like trying to sleep so I don't have to eat anything.
Right.
But yeah, like I'll chill in my hotel room, I'll sleep. The next morning I'll try to sleep in a little bit, and then I get to the tournament like 3 hours before I compete, just to get the energy.
Yeah.
Get like okay, hear the people yelling, get bumped up,
Watching some matches, and
yes,
get you in that mindset.
get in that atmosphere. Yeah,
So you're essentially just like trying not to do anything.
I don't do shit.
Just sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good move.
Yeah,
That's a good move
keep
for
my
sure.
body nice and recovered.
Yeah, man, because that was actually probably one of the main reasons I gassed out when I was in Vegas last year.
Partying?
I wasn't partying. It's just one, I try to do it as cheap as possible.
Yeah,
And I'm weird. Like I need to get the best sleep. And I was like in an Airbnb, and like there's just like lights and shit. It just
Yeah,
wasn't
no,
very
no,
dark.
yeah.
It just wasn't like a good place to be sleeping.
Yep.
So it's just like, man, and like I was walking to the event place. I just probably didn't do the best that I could to like manage my energy.
How far of a walk was it?
It was probably only like 3/4 of a mile.
That's not
It
too
wasn't that long of a
Yeah.
walk, but I definitely had a couple late nights, just like being up late. Like I wasn't drinking or anything like that, but
Staying
just
up late.
just staying up
Yeah.
late. Just kind of because they're 2 hours behind us.
Yes.
Right. So
Yep.
it's like my body's. I don't know.
Yeah, I just did the pans. Same thing. I did the pans, and usually, like, I thought that we'd compete on Saturday, but they made us compete on Sunday. So, like, threw me off.
Yeah.
So that Saturday, my girlfriend and I did all of our touristy things that day. And I was walking around, like, doing touristy stuff. And I didn't have the best performance. I still medaled, but I was like, it wasn't my best performance.
Right, and you can feel that.
Yes.
Yeah, man. And a lot of it's mental, dude.
It is.
Yeah, man. Because like if you don't mentally want to be there, it just doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, and if you like get out, like for me, I'm very routine oriented. So like if I'm outside of my routine before I compete, like it really does mess with me.
Yeah, yeah. So you're very like structured in the way that you kind of approach your,
Yep.
your competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can dig it.
Yeah.
I can dig it. So, dude, I don't know how much time I have you. I think you said you had an 11 o'clock, right? So I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to be respectful of your time.
no, I'm good for whatever, man. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I keep checking. I was like, fuck, dude. Like, how
No,
much-
you're good, dude. Like, I mean, I get to make my own schedule, so I tell my patients usually like between 11 and 11:30 or 12 12:30. I give them that 30-minute window, and she's close to here too. So
Okay.
yeah, it's
All
not too
right.
bad.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, man. I was just trying to be respectful. Of
No,
people's
it's
times.
good.
They
Yeah,
got
yeah.
something going on, man.
It's all good.
Dude. So, what? So take me. So we kind of talked about like your rest and kind of leading up to prep. But like, do you put together like a full camp for your training, or
So I just train year round, man.
just train year round?
Yeah. So
Because
like,
I heard you mention like the no-gi season.
yeah. So we just flip flop. So like January till June, we follow the IBJJF season. It's like that's gi.
Okay.
So and then the worlds are in June, and then we flip flop it. So June to December is
No-gi.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I try to just stay in shape year round. I might take some time off, like
Yeah.
vacation time a little bit, but I just.
I mean, that's the move. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no season to
No.
the sport.
It's year round. It's hard on the body to do it, but I get my rest in there when I can.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Jiu-jitsu is one of those things, though, that you can almost be lazy and still do it.
for sure, for sure.
You know what I mean? Kind of do
Absolutely.
that old guy rolling, but that
Absolutely.
doesn't keep you in shape for competition.
No, it doesn't. You
Yeah.
gotta really push yourself. So I do like man, I actually need to start cutting back on some of my actual training, like sparring wise. But I'll train 6 days a week, and I'll lift twice a week, do some cardio in there. So I try to like keep myself going, because jiu-jitsu, being a black belt, And not when I don't train with my black belts, I train with all lower belts. So it's easy for me to just like lay on you. And I have to tell myself.
Yeah. If I go against like a lower belt, I'll let them put me in compromising positions.
Nice.
Yeah.
That'll make you work out. Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
like give my back or something. But I realized like if you're gonna let a white belt or somebody like pass your guard and get into side control, you almost have to like not let them know that you're letting them pass your guard.
Yeah, because they'll just kind of be like, "Oh man."
Oh man, or they'll get all like if they pass your guard, they'll get all like paranoid. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why did you let me do this? So it's just like you have to like
a little bit of a fight.
Just a little bit of a fight, like shut down one move and then like let them go to that one. Because if you shut down the second move, then they don't have the third to follow.
Yes, true. That's true. Like, all right, now you're mine.
So like I'll let them pass my guard, but they don't like necessarily know it.
You know, like white belts, man. I've gotten to the point now where it's like I am getting older and I'm trying to protect myself. So it's like I try to limit my exposure.
Yeah, so do you roll with them very much anymore?
Maybe lighter ones I will, but some of the bigger guys, and it's not their fault. Like, you know, I'm gonna be 36 next year. Like in less than, I guess, about 7 months. 8 months. I'll be 36 years old. Just turned 35. So I'm like, man, my knees hurt.
Yeah.
Like my body, I'm a 35-year-old, but my body with the military and jiu-jitsu, I'm like a fucking 60-year-old.
Yeah, dude, it's hard.
So it's like, in order for me to continue to train the way I want and compete the way I want, I have to limit my exposure to like crazy people.
Yeah.
And so
the white belts are spazzes, dude. Even some of the blue belts. I got to really pick and choose who I roll with.
Yes. Yeah. And I told one of my guys, Jason Conway, I'm like, hey man, because he's like 100. Do you know Jason?
That name sounds super familiar. I think if I
Buggies.
saw him, I probably would know him.
Yeah,
I'm better with faces.
But anyway, yeah, he's like my first black belt.
Okay.
And yeah, like he's like 150 something, 155, 150 somewhere in there. He is 42 years old, killer. But the problem is he wants to go with like everybody, and he feels bad if he doesn't. And I told him, I was like, bro, knock that shit off. You can't go with those guys.
You gotta worry about your health, dude.
Yeah, like if you want to do this till the day you die, like you need to choose your training partners wisely. And there's nothing wrong with you being like, hey, bro, I'm only training with like these guys today because they're lighter. Like, sorry, maybe I'll get you later. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, any athletic endeavor, there has to be some sort of like selfishness to it.
Yes.
You know, especially when you're competing, and I mean, it's your health, dude. So, I mean, if somebody's 200 pounds heavier than you, it's probably not a good idea to go with them. Or if somebody is like they're gonna like be super spastic, probably not a good idea.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I can almost, even like some of the heavier white belts, I can usually kind of like disperse their weight because they're not very good at like keeping their hips underneath them or being heavy or different things. But dude, they'll force some submissions that just aren't there.
Oh yeah.
And it hurts you. I had this dude trying to do an Ezekiel. I think it was an Ezekiel.
It's like a face crank.
He's like smashing his fist in my fucking jaw though, dude. I'm just like, I can't tap because if I tap right now, then he's going to think that this works.
Yes.
And I can't let him think that this works because it doesn't.
And you don't want to be that guy like, oh, no, hold on, put your hand here. Like, you don't want to be that dude during rolling. Like, everybody hates that guy. So you just got to kind of eat it.
Yeah, dude. So it's like, fuck that. I just got to, my jaw just has to hurt for a second. And then, like, I get done, like, I have this headache now because this asshole is just trying to, like, force this thing that isn't there. His arms are burned out because
and he can't roll the next round either.
Yeah, he set out the next round because he burned out his arms.
Yep. Yeah, like, man, I just, like, I've gotten to the point where, for me to be competition ready, I train with majority black belts.
Yeah.
And like I won't go below blue if I'm getting ready for comp.
Yeah.
Like I just won't.
Yeah. It's better that way.
Yeah.
It's better that way. There's just a different like understanding of how things should be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just like when you go with some people, they don't know anything. They just do the most unnatural things.
Absolutely.
Which is kind of cool to like. You want to be prepared for that because if you did ever have to use jiu-jitsu in the streets, it's good because people are unpredictable.
Right.
But at the same note, there's a lot of predictability like in the sport as far as positioning and what comes next.
And what move the move the right way even.
Yeah.
It's like, hey man, like no one in the right mind would ever move this way ever.
Yeah.
If you're like a blue belt and above.
Right.
So it's like
So when you roll with those guys that don't have that understanding, it just creates this really weird situation.
Yeah, and the other thing too is like I don't want to injure myself, and I don't want to injure them for like them making crazy movements.
Yeah.
Like I saw this one guy. He was in the lockdown. This was a couple years back. He was in the lockdown, and the other dude was doing like the electric chair sweep on him.
Yeah.
And the guy turned the wrong way, just like destroyed his whole knee. And it was his fault because he like exploded into this movement and moved the exact wrong way.
Yeah.
and there is his whole knee, and he never trained jiu-jitsu again.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah. So it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't want to be that guy who like stops somebody's jiu-jitsu career because I'm trying to advance move on somebody who has no clue what they're doing.
Right.
And I also don't want to get hurt, with them moving crazy and blowing out my knee. So,
Yeah.
so like, I tell my guys like, I train with black belts 5 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have not gotten hurt once, not one major injury.
Yeah.
Because we know how to take care of each other.
That's so true. That is so true. I was invited to go roll with like Rodrigo and Mike, and it's just like all high level guys, and it was because like they just didn't like. It's like, all right, well, it's all gonna be like you have to be like purple and above, and you have to be like over 30, I think is what they said.
Yeah.
Because it's like some of those younger guys and those guys who just don't have the experience, man. You're just gonna.
And they don't hurt like we do afterwards, It's like they get up and like the next day, like, let's do this again. I'm like, bro, I need a day to recover from what I just did.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man, I feel it the next day, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 31. I'll be 32 in December, and I can remember a time just like never really believing like it would be harder to recover.
Yeah.
But it's true.
It
really does. Like you feel it. Like it's
Yes.
slower.
Yeah. Everybody tells me like it gets worse when you get older, and I'm like, damn, they're right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm negating some of it, but yeah, there's still like little aches and pains on me that I have. It's not fun.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
So okay, so what's next for you, dude? Like, so you're growing. Like, how do you like, what's the question I want to ask as far as like what's next? Like, you're growing your program, right? Like, so like what's with that? Just continue to grow it, like.
Yeah. So.
Where do you see things? Do you think you're going to continue to be at like the hit squad, or do you ever see yourself like opening your own location? That's kind of where I'm going with it.
So like I've thought this through my head. I wouldn't mind eventually opening my own location, but still teaching at the hit squad.
Okay.
So I would open up my location with a partner. They would be there the days that I would be at the hit squad because I still want to run the hit squad. I still want to I wouldn't mind having 2 gyms.
Yeah, 2 programs.
Yeah. So like, because if I were to open up a gym, it'd be here in St. Louis. It wouldn't be in Illinois because I live here in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And so
it'd be easier that way.
yeah, and so but I owe it to those guys out there for being a part of my program. And so I'd still go out there and teach, and then teach here. That would be my eventual thing. But for right now, my goals are just building my brand. Like trying to get a little more Instagram famous. And
Dude, you're putting out amazing videos.
Thank
like
you.
Really good instructionals.
Yeah.
I think how many followers do you have now? Like
almost 11,000.
Yeah, almost 11,000, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good exposure for like what you're doing, man.
Yeah, they just made me a content creator on there, so.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. But so like build up my brand, try to get more super fights.
Yeah.
You get paid that way. So
Right.
like I might just do the IBJJF tournaments, like the bigger ones, and then try to focus on getting super fights.
Do you see jiu-jitsu becoming like the main thing as far, because I mean right now you're doing physical therapy, and like you had mentioned to go back to get your doctorate in physical therapy, right?
Yep.
Like do you see yourself still doing that, or do you ever see like jiu-jitsu paying the bills?
I'm a firm believer in pillars of income.
Mm-hmm.
So I would never give up physical therapy. I also own real estate, so I would never give up that.
Yeah, multiple streams of income, dude.
Yep. So pillars of income. So yeah, my main pillar right now is physical therapy. I wouldn't mind it to where like I could back off a little bit of that and focus on other things, but that pays me the best.
Yeah.
So I mean, if I could get away with just working PT, a couple hours a day and then focus on the gym, that would be awesome. Mm-hmm. So I don't know with that.
Who knows? Who knows what's coming up, huh? Yeah, well, because, I mean, obviously, like, you are growing the brand.
Yes.
Very well.
Yes, thank you.
I think the instructionals that you do are great.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I think instructionals are hard because it's like, how do you think of there's a million different things that you can show, right? It's like, how do you choose, like, how simple to keep it or how complex to keep it? You know what I mean? Because you could take a series and probably break that down in, like, 5 or 6 different lessons. But it's like, do you do that? Or
I feel like the videos that there's, like, two types of videos that get the most views. The crazy, flashy stuff that goes real fast. And like, what did I just watch?
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, that's so awesome. And then, like, the very in-depth, detailed instruction are like the 2 ones that get the most views. And so like the in between ones, like, hey, here's how you do an arm bar, blah blah blah, and then it's like 2 minutes or like a minute long and then it's done. Those don't really get a whole lot. So I mean, for me, I'm make a planner for usually what I teach at the gym.
Yeah.
And so I make a plan on what I'm going to teach, and then I kind of piggyback off of that and put it on the videos.
Okay.
So
okay.
that's how I kind of do
So
that.
you schedule or you set up like your lessons for the week, or how do you structure your
so I
teaching?
do like I like to do it in positionally. So like this month we're going to work on guard,
Okay.
not just closed guard, but like guard, half guard, butterfly guard, spider guard, whatever. And I'll teach like a top and bottom every day.
Okay.
So like, hey, here's how you sweep or submit from this guard. Here's how you pass it. So that way when they go into sparring, they have both.
Right, and then they can immediately start using it.
So that's what I do. And then I do it like a month or two at a time. I figure out what I'm going to do.
Okay, so if it's like a month of guard, so you'll show like a different guard every day.
I'll usually do like a week. So like
a week of the same guard.
Yep.
So like 4 guards within the month is what they're
So
going to
they can see it multiple times.
Okay, so it's the same guard for the full week.
And then I make the variation like so. Close guard, here's how you do a pendulum sweep, and then I'll do the same exact thing in no-gi, but I'll show them variations for no-gi specific.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I do.
So do you do a lot of drilling, or do you prefer more like? I mean, people kind of have their preferences, but I mean, I'm the more like I've gotten, I don't know the more, but I guess like the more experienced I've gotten, like the more I value drilling. Yeah.
So like for me personally, I can drill a move like 5 times, and I'm like, all right, cool. I like it or I don't. I'll put that in my repertoire or I won't.
Yeah.
So that's how I am. I don't have to drill it a whole lot. I prefer trying it live.
Yeah.
But for my students, since they're all pretty new, I always start off with the same thing: shrimps, forward rolls, hip escapes, things like that.
Yeah.
Because that is the foundation of jiu-jitsu.
100%.
And then I'll do I feel like in the jiu-jitsu community we don't do a lot of takedowns. And so I have them drill 5 minutes of takedowns every class.
Yeah.
Whatever takedown you want, we'll do 4 fit-ins and a throw, 4 fit-ins and throw and switch.
Okay.
And so we'll do that, and then I'll do a drill specific to that lesson. So like if I'm doing I'm doing armbar escapes right now. So I'm like, all right, we're going to get to the armbar, get on top, we're going to swing for the armbar, and then you're going to go back. And that's our drill, to warm up the hips.
Yeah.
Swing for the armbar, and then I'll teach the instructor on how to defend the armbar.
Yeah, that's a good move.
Yeah.
Try to incorporate like a warm-up that's going to play into the technique.
Yep, so that's what I do. And then we spar.
Nice.
So, yeah.
That's a good structure.
Yeah.
Yeah, sparring at the end is where it's at.
Yes. Yeah. Like I like to teach them, all the stuff that they need to know. And I always have somebody new in there every class. And I'm like, all right, man, so here are the rules of sparring. If you want to try it. If you don't, cool, you can sit and watch.
So you keep it optional?
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't want to feel like they're forced to do it.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to get hurt. Because I've been in the game long enough, like, if the guys get hurt.
Yeah.
Especially brand new people.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll tell them, like, all right, look, if you're on top, stay on top. First off, I say, I know you don't know anything about jiu-jitsu. You know absolutely nothing, which is okay, but I'll give you these rules. If you're on top, stay on top. If you're on bottom, get to top. Those are your 2 rules.
That's fair.
Yeah,
it gives them like a clear objective. Yep. You know what I mean? It's very simple because, I mean, you don't know what the fuck's going on.
You have no clue what the hell you're doing. And I say, like, and try the moves you learn in class if you can.
Yeah.
And if it hurts, tap.
Yeah.
So but if you're on, like, the main ones, if you're on top, stay on top. No matter what. You hold them down, you stay on top. And if you're on bottom, get to top, no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, you can't make it any more simple than that, dude.
That's bottom line. That's all I have to do.
Do you find that with sport jiu-jitsu growing, it's reaching a larger audience. So do you find those guys who just like they kind of found out about jiu-jitsu, so they just like come in, they never have any intention to compete, they just want to just do it for a workout? Like, do you treat those guys a little bit different as far as like I don't know, like how you handle them, or you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I worded that the best.
No, I know what you're saying.
How do you handle those guys?
So like they are 90% of the jiu-jitsu world. So those guys who come in and don't want to compete, those are the guys who pay your bills.
Right.
So if in the perfect world, if I had my own gym, like it was my own gym, I would have a separate competition class for the guys who want to compete. And I would run it concurrently, so that way my times don't have to be all jacked up. So if you want to be in the competition class, come on over. We're going to do comp stuff.
Yeah.
If you want to just learn jiu-jitsu and have a good time recreationally, here's what you do.
Yeah, because it's a different intensity, and those recreational guys sometimes aren't as serious.
They are not.
You know what I mean? It's like,
not.
Man, maybe they'll be in, maybe they won't be in.
Yep. So right now I'm lucky. Most of my people like to compete.
Yeah.
Like where I'm at the hit squad, they want to compete. I don't know if that's a attitude that I've harbored or if it's just how they are.
Yeah.
but they want to compete. I don't have a whole lot of recreational people.
Yeah.
So I'm lucky in that aspect where I can like, all right, I'm rolling tonight, and I roll with them, and
Yeah.
we go at it.
Yeah.
So.
And some guys they'll train at like a competition intensity with never the intention to compete, just because they just love jiu-jitsu.
I don't like that though. Like if you're gonna like okay, I like it if you're gonna do it with other guys who want to compete.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, not necessarily like on people, but like, like they go balls deep just like anybody else, right?
Yes.
They just want to be just as good as like that competition guy, but they don't ever really intend
Want
to
to compete.
like compete.
Yeah. Like I'll tell those guys, hey, you can only go with my comp dudes.
Yeah.
Because I don't want you hurting my recreational guys.
Yeah, because there's definitely I feel like those probably aren't like as many as others, probably like the outliers.
Yeah.
But
and
they're there.
That's an unusual group though. Like that's a pretty, like you said, it's a small group.
I'm kind of falling into that group, to be honest with you, because like I competed for so long, and I don't know if it's just like maybe just like this time period that I'm in. Like I'm just kind of not in love with competing at the moment.
Or you're transitioning into coaching.
That's kind of been a part of it too.
Yeah.
Like I really enjoy coaching and teaching, and like I still train hard, and I still don't mind like training at that competition level sometimes. But it's like it doesn't like get me up in the morning to go compete.
Right.
Yeah, so I kind of think of myself when I was talking about that one.
Yeah. I mean, I've had that talk with myself several times. Like, do I want to get up and cut weight? Do I want to go run? Do I really want to do that? And I mean, I'm always a competitor. I love to compete.
Yeah.
But I'm in the same boat. Sometimes I'm like, man, that's why I haven't competed since March.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, oh, do I really want to?
Yeah.
I'm really focusing on like the coaching phase. So
yeah,
I feel you.
Coaching is definitely it's definitely something else. It's very rewarding.
It
in
is
its own way for sure.
Yeah, especially if you can get a guy you're like, man, this dude's a beast. I can really make him something special.
You're working with Jordan Dowdy. It's probably one of those guys. Like he's a fun guy to work with.
Yeah,
for sure.
And he's
a good student.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He's a student of the art. Like he takes directions, he listens, and he implements. Like that. He's perfect.
You know, he's doing all the right things when he's like by himself.
Yes,
which is good.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah. Well, dude,
that's cool.
Yeah, it's 11:07.
Perfect.
Yeah, this is great timing. So, dude, thank you so much
Absolutely,
for doing
brother.
this, dude.
I appreciate you having me, man.
I'm gonna turn the floor over to you. Tell folks like how they can get a hold of you, check you out on social if they want to come train with you.
Perfect.
The floor is yours, dude.
All right, so I'm at the Hit Squad in Granite City. Hit Squad, Granite City. It's just across the river. People think like Illinois, oh my God, St. Louis people.
Yeah.
It's like 10 minutes from downtown.
Dude, it's nice.
It's that far.
Dude, yeah, it's like it's off of I-3, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's like literally a 10-minute drive from downtown. So I'm there Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays. Tuesday, Thursday, 5:30 to 7. Saturday, 11 to 12. And then follow me on Instagram at Nick Sanders, BJJ. And then friend request me on Facebook at Nick Sanders.
Yeah, and I'll put all this on the show notes too. So.
Awesome.
All right, brother.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it too.
All right, guys. Till next time.